Ladies and gentlemen, fans of speed, passion, and raw truth, we need to talk. We need to stop the hypocrisy. We need to stop the media manipulation. We need to stop pretending that everything is perfect at Ducati, because it's not. There's a storm brewing, a silent civil war, and it's no longer about just lap times. It's about identity. It's about truth. It's about who Ducati listens to and who they're willing to sacrifice. And trust me, we're seeing the issue. Let's start where it all changed. Marc Marquez, the 8-time world champion, the phenomenon. When Marc left Honda, a broken project that had eaten his best years alive, and moved to Ducati, the world held its breath. Because Ducati had a problem. They had two kings, and the jungle doesn't allow two lions to rule the same territory. Pecco, 2-time world champion, Ducati's golden boy since 2019, factory rider since 2021. He built this team. He developed the GP22. He unlocked the monster that was GP23. And in 2024, the GP24 he sculpted won 14 races on Sunday. But Ducati didn't choose him to lead the future. They chose Marc Marquez. And now it's a bloodbath. Two sides, two bikes, two theories, and not enough truth. Let's get this straight. There is only one king in the jungle. Everyone obeys. No one dares to oppose. So does Marc Marquez. But here's the truth no one is ready to swallow. Marc Marquez is not lying. He just never got to feel what the GP24 was really capable of. If he had tasted that weapon, that balance, that glorious blend of agility and front-end confidence, he wouldn't be saying what he's saying today. And that changes everything. If Marc had ridden that GP24, the one that devoured racetracks in 2024, the one Pecco tamed with 14 Sunday victories, we wouldn't be talking about adaptation. We'd be talking about annihilation. Let's not forget, Pecco isn't out of form. He's the 2-time world champion. He's been with Ducati since 2019. He knows every bolt, every vibration, every nuance of that red beast. But right now, he's shouting into a void. You're not listening. You're overshadowed by the spectacle that is Marc Marquez. And I get it. The man is a one-in-a-generation phenomenon. Even if Ducati hadn't promoted him to the factory seat, even if he was still riding the GP23 or riding an Aprilia or KTM, he'd still be dragging it to the top of the charts. Because that's what Marc Marquez does. But here's where the situation turns sinister. By Ducati choosing to shield their flaws behind Marc's brilliance, they're doing what Honda did, ignoring reality, worshipping results, and risking it all. Let's rewind the clock. Qatar, pole for Marc, P13 for Pecco, Coda, Marquez's cathedral, his race. Until the crash. Silverstone, a masterpiece in the making, until the red flag changed everything. In that British Grand Prix, Pecco wasn't making excuses. He was speaking facts. After the red flag, nothing worked. No rear grip, no traction. It was strange. I lost the rear entering turn 7 and I crashed. Marc was hiding the problem that we all had this weekend. Why? Because the GP25 is not what the GP24 was, and only one man is brave enough to say it. Pecco. But are you listening to him? No. You're too busy being hypnotized by the Marquez factor. You're so blinded by the name Marc Marquez on red leathers that you've stopped paying attention to the man who built this Ducati dynasty. Starting from Thai GP to Argentina to Qatar to America to Jerez, Marc Marquez was like a rocket. Pecco, he was lost in a storm. He didn't know why he couldn't ride the GP25. If Marc could, why couldn't he? Even I thought Pecco was already lost in the box before he even hit the apex. But he kept saying it. The front end, something's wrong. No one listened. No one wanted to listen. They just told him, catch Marc. How correct was that? Now, after 7 races, Marc Marquez has won 6 sprints in a row, 3 Sunday races, 2 more podiums, and 2 crashes. On the other side, Pecco, just 1 win, and that too only because Marc crashed at Coda. The rest, a front-end nightmare. He's lost total confidence on the bike. The same front end where he once ruled, he's now completely lost. Ducati's golden boy? He's been whistleblowing since day one. But they didn't listen. They never listened. And at Silverstone, it was luck. pure luck that gave the Marquez brothers a restart after the red flag incident. Otherwise, both were already in the gravel. And it wasn't just Pecco. Alex Marquez said he had no confidence after the restart and would have won the race without his first crash. Fabio Quartararo retired. That GP could have been the first in a long time where no Ducati made it to the podium. Read that again. Let it sink in. No Ducati on the podium. Let's talk data. Let's talk development. In 2024, everyone benefited from Pecco Bagnaya's feedback, Jorge Martin included. The GP24 reached a new stratosphere in pace and consistency. And yet, only one man with that machine matched its output, Marc Marquez. He won 3 races on the older GP23. What does that tell you? It tells you that Pecco's development, Marc's talent, and Ducati's execution should have created a dynasty. Instead, we've got a house divided. Pecco says there's a problem. Marc hides it with sheer talent. Ducati ignores the signs. The media fans the flames. And here we are. 2025 began with promise, but now we're watching a civil war unfold within the red camp. Even Davide Tardozzi's public statements turned passive-aggressive. Indirect jabs, misplaced confidence. But Pecco hasn't been political. He's been honest. Others are improving. We are stuck, maybe even getting worse. Meanwhile, now, let's look at what's next. Aragon, Marc's home turf, his hunting ground. But even here, Ducati stand on the edge of a sword. 2 sharp edges, 2 theories, 2 champions. Marc Marquez, Pecco Bagnaia. The blood is splitting. Not just metaphorically, but in data, development, strategy, and belief. Pecco sees the issue. Marc powers through it. And Ducati? They're pretending both realities can coexist. They can't. Even Franco Morbidelli, yes, the struggling Morbidelli, has been close to Marc Marquez in races. Alex Marquez too. Are they suddenly superstars? No, it's the bike, the GP24. And that's the point. Marc is not lying, but he hasn't tasted that power yet. He's taming a different beast, one with old scars and new armor. Pecco is not lying, but Ducati are not ready to accept that their newest creation might be flawed. It's a dangerous game. History already showed us what happened at Honda. Do not repeat it. Let's wrap this with a statement from Pecco after Silverstone. We need to do a step. Others are improving. We are stuck or going worse. That's your 2-time world champion talking, not whining, not blaming, calling for accountability. But are you listening? Or are you still hypnotized by the magic of Marc? Because when the lights go out in Aragon, the truth won't hide. Not behind red flags, not behind press conferences, not behind podiums. It'll scream through the corners in lean angles and tire temperatures. It'll bleed from the lap times. And one question will echo. Can Ducati handle the fire they've started? Or will they let it burn their empire down?